Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today I'm going to be talking about how I had an 87.5% win rate with Xayah to Master on my ADC account. So as you can see here, we ended up getting Master from this game, and you saw the 87% win rate there. So we're just going to go into a Xayah gameplay and kind of talk about what makes her so good for solo queue right now. So let's get right into it. Okay, so getting right into it, I kind of just want to talk about what makes Xayah strong, and just so you guys know, I will make a video on Corki as well. Obviously, since you saw that I played a lot of Corki for ADC, we will make videos on that later as well when we go back on the ADC account. We're currently master on 4 accounts. The only account we're not master on support, where we're diamond 2, so working on getting that to master as well. So we did this obviously all solo queue, and I was kind of looking for a game that would seem a bit closer, but frankly a majority of these games are kind of just stomps where the enemy are pretty bad. And honestly, the reality is just like people in diamond and below are just like not very good, even 2 weeks into the season, where you would expect it to be a lot of maybe like grandmaster, master peak players. They just generally don't know how to play into Xayah. Like it was really shocking to me. Like if you're a low elo or mid elo ADC player and you want like in a secondary ADC to play a lot of, I think Xayah is really good. The reason for that is because she's really hard to actually kill anytime you pick an aggressive comp. So basically I would pick Corki in a majority of games, and then I would pick Xayah anytime the enemy team was really aggressive. So like Leona, Samira, Tristana, Alistar, any type of aggressive champs that have to just jump into you. If they have a lot of engage, volley bear, stuff that has to run at you, you lock in Xayah and they can't do much at all. Xayah has good range, she has good laning phase, she's good with almost any support in the game, and she scales quite well, especially if the enemy have a really aggressive comp. So just a lot of really, really good things that Xayah does, and that's why I'm literally 21-3 going up to master with her. At one point, I think I had like a 10-game win streak with her, and ADC has actually been my highest win rate role to master. I believe it's the highest win rate role. I'm like 95% sure on that. I don't remember exactly the win rates, but yeah, like definitely a surprisingly good role so far for carrying. I do think obviously small sample size, you can't necessarily tell. And I do think jungle mid are the best roles for a solo queue, but a lot of times if you're just able to completely 1v9 games as an ADC, you farm properly. It doesn't matter if games go bad or good. I made a video, a couple days ago, and you can go to my ADC playlist to find it, where I was playing Corki, and it was kind of about coming back in games and how all you need to do is make sure that you farm, and if you farm properly, you're usually going to be in a position to carry. I had plenty of games like that initially looked bad, and I just farm up, and I'm able to carry really, really well. So that's really kind of the main thing. When I'm playing Xayah, a lot of times we're just trying to get the wave pushed a bit, get that level advantage in the trade around level 2. You're really strong because of your first ability plus third ability, rooting people, and just overall, if you have the control of the lane, you're usually pretty happy because it's pretty hard to gank a Xayah. I have my cleanse, I have my flash, I have my second ability, movement speed, so I have a lot of things that really make it pretty hard to actually, gank me. Or anything like that, so I'm not super worried about ganks, which is another nice thing about Xayah. And then if the enemy ever do some dumb stuff like this, I have no idea why Leona went in there. You can just easily, root them. You can set up ganks really nicely for your teammates. You can just do a lot of really nice stuff. I have Emilio here, which obviously makes it easier to play as well. But yeah, we end up chasing down the Ziggs there. Holy crap, I can't talk. But then Leona again goes in for no reason, gives us free kill. And I found, like, again, this is, diamond game, just in general, in the lower elos, they make a lot of random plays, and if you're just patient enough, as an ADC, you farm properly, the enemy are going to make mistakes into you at some point. Sometimes it's going to be in the early lane phase, you're going to get an early lead, and you're going to have a game like this, where you're fed for minute 1. Other games are going to have, they maybe won't make as many mistakes early, or your teammates will make more mistakes, but in the long run, at some point, they make these mistakes, you get fed, and you have a really good chance of carrying if you play properly. And Xayah is a really easy champion to not throw your lead on, because she's really hard to die on because of your ultimate, everything like that. If you're wondering about the build, typically I go for Berserker Greaves, then I go for Bloodthirster, Magnetic Blaster, Navori Quick Blades, and Mortal Reminder. This 4-item combo makes you completely insane. Magnetic Blaster is really, really good for you and allows you to proc your W, because if you click your W, you need to auto attack someone to get the movement speed, and you get the big auto attack from Magnetic. Gives you really fast auto. Obviously Bloodthirster first item because it's just broken and super hard to die on. So basically this champion is insanely hard to die on anytime the enemy comp have a lot of melee champions that have to run at you, or just a really aggressive comp in general. And even if they have some poke, you have the Bloodthirster healing, to sustain yourself from like a Ziggs poke, for example. So super, super good pick. I think if you have like one other pick with it where, again, the main thing that Xayah struggles into is like high range. So if the enemy lock in Caitlyn Melio, Ezreal Karma, this type of thing, you don't really want to play Xayah because she's really, she struggles into those high range comps. So as long as you're not playing her into that, you can play her into pretty much anything else and you'll be pretty happy. Here, again, like even though there's 3 people here, if I make a mistake, I get caught out or I get too close to like a Leona or Leona flashes on me, again, I have the ultimate, I have cleanse, I have my root, I have so many things that you can see, like my Rise is just on tower for free and I'm just sitting here, no issue at all, right? I just lose some health, they use their exhaust, and again, my Rise gets a bunch of free turret plates. We're totally happy with that. And we're still scaling up. Obviously, we're ahead 1,500 gold. And so everything is just going well. And then when it comes to, after the early game, playing team fights as Xayah are also really straightforward. It's very much just playing front to back. Let the enemy come into you. Just hit the front line to try to stack up your lethal tempo as much as possible. And then when the enemy overextend, just, go pretty aggro on them. Once your lethal tempo stacked, everything like this. Here I flashed when I did not need to flash. So that was definitely a bad flash by me. But again, this is a type of champion where you have your bloodthirst, so you have all these different things. You make these mistakes, a lot of times you're still going to survive just because of your survivability. Your, everything that your champion has makes it really, really easy. And is definitely super nice. So definitely a forgiving champion as well, which is nice because I'm definitely not, like ADC I would say is overall my worst role. I make more mistakes just because I'm not super, I'm not always super cognizant of my positioning. Like these are some of the mistakes I make. And so for that reason, it's kind of nice to be playing a champion that has a bit more, forgiveness rather than playing a champion that might be a lot more punishing if you do make, a mistake or two every now and again. So that's also a nice thing. And like I said, again, the loyal players, they really don't know how to play into it well. But here we go through mid first just because there's a free mid wave. Might as well get that additional gold. And then we go through top side. So another thing that I do really well is ADC. I might not play the best, again, mechanically in team fights, and that's why a champ like Xayah is good for me. But I'm very good at getting gold. I'll go through these extra mid waves, just grab some extra gold, and then there's a free top wave here. Whereas a lot of people would have just gone straight top, let their mid laner get the mid wave. And while that's fine, it's not as good for carrying solo queue games. And again, our goal is to hard carry solo queue games, especially in these lower ranks where our teammates and our opponents are all going to be pretty silly. So again, our teammate now roams, so we just want to chill a bit. We don't want to do anything stupid. Want to make sure they can't dive us. So we just sit under turret. If the enemy, go too aggro, we can trade with them because I am pretty strong, but totally fine with just letting my team chill on the other side of the map while I'm sitting here. And then if I see the enemy roam, I can play a bit more aggressive. Like here, I only see Xayah, so I know I can just trade really hard. Then I get my lethal tempo up to the point that my range is so high I can just one-shot her. I don't really know what they're doing there. Again, I was trying to find a game where like my opponents weren't awful, but the reality is all these Diamond players suck. Most of the players in Diamond at this point in the season are not going to be playing very smart. I've learned that from the fact that I have 4 master accounts now, so I've climbed through Diamond 4 times and currently climbing through it a 5th time on support. And yeah, it's just an interesting experience, like I would definitely say I can see the frustration. I can see like why people would blame their teammates a lot because of like I have seen my teammates do some absurdly just silly things that have lost me games in these different, pushes. But at the end, I've all climbed, 60, 70%. I think most of the accounts have been 70+% win rate. Solo queue still to get through. So even though, it's frustrating and kind of dumb, the things I see, my opponents are also dumb is the reality that I've kind of found out. And so most of the time you can take advantage of it regardless. And now here again, my main goal is just get as much gold as possible. So I'm going to cycle through top side, then I'm going to go, I'll take these Krugs. Then I'm assuming I'm probably going to go mid right after. Yeah, you guys see me go mid here. Kindred gets caught out. Kindred forgets to use their ultimate, and I have the Melio range plus lethal tempo stacks, and nothing they can really do to stop me at this point. And so at this point now, again, our goal is just cycle through as many different lanes as possible to get as much gold as possible, take jungle camps when possible. This is how you're going to be snowballing on ADCs. So when you do get this lead, basically, yeah, you get whatever wave, you were on, you push that wave out, then you go to another lane, you push that lane out. If there's kills to be had there or a turret to be taken, you go there, and then you go back to wherever you could. So here, I was going to go back to top side, but my Rise was going there, so I was like, I'll just cover mid wave. I don't need to worry as much about getting maximum gold because I am already super fed. So as long as I'm keeping my gold reasonable, that's fine. And then notice again, now I just cycle to a bot wave, right? Like I'm just looking to different waves and different waves constantly. I don't care if I'm on my lane, like there's gold to be had here, I'm going to go get the gold. And then in this case, I'm going to chase down the Fiora, who for some reason has Ghost. I don't know why she has Ghost, but she does. And so yeah, now we find the Kindred here, and again, just notice how I'm just finding gold on any part of the map that I can. Kindred finally learns that his ultimate makes him not die, and then he walks out of it because, again, diamond players, I don't know, they're weird, but either way, we get a double kill, super fed, snowballing all across the map. Really one of the main things, you know, to figure out on ADC is, like, especially when you're snowballing games, don't just stick around in your lane. Make sure you're going all across the map. You go to mid, you grab the mid wave, you take, you know, the gold from there, you push back out your lane to make sure that the enemy don't take your turret. Then you go to whatever side lane is open, you try to take turrets around there if you're really fed, and just keep pushing your lead and pushing your lead to the point that the enemy can't really do much. And this is how we're able to snowball games super fast, get ourselves super fed, and frequently, you know, just carry really early on. So, again, the other ADC video I've made this season is kind of me playing when I'm my teammates behind, and then we kind of find that one moment to win the game. This is more of a game that is focused on snowballing, and so these are kind of the two different sides of playing ADC. Sometimes you have to play from ahead, sometimes from behind, and as long as you understand how to get gold, how to hit your power spikes, you're going to be really fine either way. For whatever reason, Leona is behind us now, and we're just, again, at this point, I have 4,000 gold. I should realistically recall. Sometimes I get pretty cocky in the CeeLo. I would say that's probably the biggest issue for me, is like low-key getting bored stomping the people to the point that I sometimes get cocky and overextend. Like I definitely could have recalled, you know, a little bit ago, spent my gold, been safer, rather than sitting on 4,500 gold, but it is what it is. We get the mid wave here, and I should hopefully be looking for a recall pretty soon. Once my team gets Dragon, I'm assuming I'm going to go Dragon, and then probably recall here, so that's kind of the main focus that I have. Kindred tries to seal it, but, you know, fails. And at that point, nothing too complicated with how we have to end this game out. We just control the mid wave, make sure we don't do anything silly, make sure we don't, you know, get one shot by a Ziggs or something, and we'll be fine. So I just have to ult there. Again, like, you make some dumb mistakes on Xayah, that's fine. Like, for no reason I get caught out there, right? But Xayah is very forgiving in that regard, and that's what's nice. In solo queue, playing a champion that doesn't have any form of self-peel, like self-protection, right, they're going to be very bad, really hard. So like playing like a Jinx in solo queue, that's going to be tough. You don't really have a lot of ways to protect yourself. You kind of have to rely on your team. But Xayah, she's totally cool with that. The other champion I was playing, Corki, as well, you know, he has his second ability, which is decent mobility, and he's just pretty OP right now, so obviously he's really good. And then also a lot of times you find an opportunity to just melt the Baron down as an ADC. Like the enemy were on the wrong side of the map, even though two of my teammates are dead, two of them are dead, we can just go and melt this. I found a bunch of comeback angles as Corki especially, but Xayah too, where I was just able to melt Barons, like one-shot them when the enemy go Dragon, second Dragon. So like a lot of times enemy goes second Dragon, we're behind 3, 4, 5,000 gold. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for the Baron, and we're gonna be chilling. And then look at this range, by the way. Holy crap, like this range is insane. The lethal tempo, the Melio, just everything. It's absurd, and obviously magnetic blaster as well. And so again, you get caught out, you still have the ability to escape with your ultimate. Kindred forgot his ultimate, how it works again, because he's just like that. I had a Tryndamere support one game, and I won that game somehow, and he kept forgetting what his ultimate does. So apparently everyone who has an ultimate that makes them invincible just doesn't know what it does. I also had a Kayle who kept ulting me when I was full health, and then like wouldn't ult when someone was actually taking damage. So yeah, I don't know, like this elo, it really shocked me, like low-key, how insanely bad a lot of these Master and Emerald players that would be on your teams were. Like I was always aware that they're bad, but like it was like, wow, you know. But obviously we were able to carry most of these games and still climb despite the weirdness that we experienced. This is a game from a little bit ago, so I wasn't quite up to Master yet. I was like Diamond something, right? We'll have videos in Master. Obviously, I'm sure the Master games will be a bit better quality. We're just climbing our final account through with the support, and then we'll get there. So obviously this was a Diamond 4 game, but the Diamond 2 games, the Diamond 1 games look the same. I just wanted to show you guys a game of Xayah, you know, where we were able to carry, and sort of give you guys some of my insight on the ADC role as a whole. Definitely going to have more videos on ADC and every role, as we'll be playing it a lot. You can catch my challenge on my Twitch or YouTube channel, streaming pretty much every day, grinding a bunch. I think I've played 123 hours of Wild Rift in the last 12 days. So definitely been grinding. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.